Hello everybody, welcome back. We are on lesson 101, factorable denominators. So we have done the addition and subtraction of rational expressions. We've realized that we need to have a common denominator. So today we add on a little step, of course, and here is a problem that's an example of what we're doing. So when you look at this, oh, these denominators don't look at all alike. However, if we factored them, or one of them, we may see some common factors. So as you see right here, we have a trinomial, and this is a trinomial that we could easily factor, right? So it factors by trial and error, undoing FOIL, all right, into x and x, 4 and 3, minus and plus. All right, so instead of this trinomial, I have factored it into these two binomials. So now, do you guys see we have at least one common element in our least common multiple? So what will our least common multiple need? It will need an x minus 4. Okay, so that's this one and this one are taken care of. We also need an x plus 3. All right, so the first term is not missing anything from the LCM, so I don't have to multiply that by 1 in any disguised form. This denominator, however, needs to be multiplied by the x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply by 1 so that I have common denominators in both terms. So my numerator needs the 6x from the first term, and notice I have a minus p here, so I need to distribute carefully the minus p to both things. So I will have a minus px and a minus 3p. Now, none of these are like terms, so you're done. Okay, you can't combine any elements, you can't factor it, so this is your final answer for example 1. All right? Okay, so now let's look at example 2. This one. Okay, so here I see a trinomial that I could factor by trial and error into x, let's see, is it minus 3 and 2, or no, because this is minus, we know we have to probably do 6 and 1, don't we? So if you check that with FOIL, okay, I was tempted to do 3 and 2. My brain just kind of went there. But I know this is minus, so it wasn't going to work. If you try FOIL and check it, it wasn't correct. So here is the proper factorization. Now over here, this is a binomial, but there is a common term. So I can factor an x out and get x minus 6. Hope that you see that. So sometimes you're just going to be factoring out a common term. Other times you're going to be factoring by trial and error. Okay? So least common multiple. Oh my goodness, we need an x. We need an x minus 6. And we need an x plus 1. All right? So a very involved denominator there. So the first term, what is it missing from the LCM? Literally, you have to ask yourself this, okay? It's missing an x, isn't it? So I'm going to multiply by x over x. Okay, that x is down here, okay? And this is missing the x plus 1. All right? So I have this product, 7x. I have a minus 5 that I'm distributing. Negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Negative 5 times 1, negative 5. So 7x, take away 5x. These are like terms. So I'm not quite finished. I need to complete this, so I need to collect my like terms. And then, of course, your denominator. Now you don't need to multiply that back out. Leave it factored. So this is your final answer for example 2. All right, and there's one more, so I'm going to go ahead and do it for you. Notice how I'm leaving room in my workspace for me to do some multiplying beside each term. All right, so the first one's a trinomial, can be factored into, this one's 3 and 2, isn't it? Okay, so x plus 3, x minus 2. And again, make sure you check with FOIL that everything adds up correctly, okay? And this one, a binomial where we could factor out an x. All right, so I'm going to erase these. It's a little less sloppy than me scribbling them out. All right, so what does our least common multiple need? It needs an x, takes care of that. It needs an x plus 3 and an x minus 2. All right, so this first term, what's it missing from the LCM? An x, good. So you see there's a binomial there. I'm going to put parentheses because I'm going to be multiplying by x over x, so I want to make sure that I'm distributing. So whenever there's a binomial in your numerator, make sure you put parentheses so that you remember you are distributing. All right, then over here, I'll notice this is my line here. Okay, what am I missing here from the LCM? The x minus 2. All right, so looking it over, you see you have common denominator in both terms. All right, I'm going to be very careful here that I distribute a -4 to both terms. All right, so x times 4x will be 4x squared. X times 2 will be 2x. -4 times x, -4x. And -4 times -2 is +8. All right, so the next thing that I see is that I need to collect like terms here. You're not quite finished. You always want to simplify, clean it up. So 4x squared minus 2x plus 8 over x, x plus 3, x minus 2. All right. So you could factor a 2 out of here, but it's kind of unnecessary because 2 is not going to cancel, so you can leave your answer like that. All right, so try A and B. Stop the video, do your work, and then come back and check. I'll be putting the answers up. Okay, so for A, I went ahead and factored the first denominator, and then the second one was like that. So my least common multiple needed an x minus 7 and an x plus 3. That first term had everything. The second one needed the x plus 3, so I carefully distributed a -7, and my like terms were collected. And so here is the answer to A. B. I factored the denominator. So like I looked at the problem, and then instead of writing the whole thing, I saw that I could factor my first denominator. Then I wrote the second one, and I factored that denominator accordingly. So my LCM needed the x. It needed x minus 9 and x minus 1. So this first expression was missing x out of the LCM. The second expression was missing the x minus 9. I multiplied, distributed, and collected like terms. Okay, so refer to RenWeb. You all are doing well. As you see, most of the time these are in two parts. So if I ever need you to turn things in, make sure that you follow directions. Turn the entire lesson in at one time, okay, on the day that it's requested. You're doing well. Continue to show your work. Continue to be neat and orderly. It's kind of difficult to read your answers from my phone or an attachment. So you're doing well. God bless you all. I love you and miss you so much. Bye-bye.